The Crythian Empire had never encountered resistance. For 3,000 cycles, they had swept across 17 galaxies, their silver armada reducing civilizations to ash and memory. They came with ultimatums carved in light across planetary skies: submit or perish. Most species chose the former. The wise ones, the Crythians, called them. Humanity chose neither. Commander Desiree Chen stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, her dark eyes fixed on the viewport where Earth hung like a blue jewel against the void. Behind her, holographic displays painted the grim picture. 600 Crythian dreadnoughts in orbit, their weapons primed, their ultimatum clear. 72 hours to surrender unconditionally or Earth would burn. "They're hailing again, Commander," Lieutenant Morrison reported, his voice tight with suppressed fear. "Ignore it," Desiree said quietly. Her fingers drummed against the tactical console, a rhythm only she could hear. "How long until James brings them online?" Morrison checked his display. "Engineering reports another 18 hours minimum." "The Dark Fleet systems haven't been activated in—" "I know how long it's been," Desiree interrupted, her voice soft but sharp as a scalpel. "I was there when we built them." 20 years ago, humanity had looked at the stars with hope. Then the probes had returned with data that turned hope to ice. The galaxy was not empty, and its inhabitants were not friendly. The Crythian Empire's expansion was methodical, inevitable, and approaching fast. So humanity had built a secret. Deep in the Kuiper Belt, far from prying eyes and casual scans, they had constructed the Dark Fleet. Ships that didn't exist on any registry. Vessels designed not for exploration or defense, but for a singular purpose: to ensure that if humanity fell, they would take their executioners with them. Dr. James Okonkwo had designed their cores, pulling theories from the bleeding edge of quantum mechanics and weaponizing physics itself. He'd been 26 then, brilliant and idealistic, certain they'd never need to use his creations. Now at 46, gray threading through his hair, he worked frantically in Engineering Bay 7, hands moving across holographic controls with desperate precision. Come on," James muttered, sweat beading on his forehead despite the bay's cool temperature. The reactor core before him pulsed with an ominous violet light, reality itself seeming to bend around it. "You were stable in simulations. Be stable now." The Dark Fleet's secret was simple in concept, nightmarish in execution. While the Crythians and every other species in the galaxy had mastered conventional fusion and antimatter drives, humanity had gone deeper. They'd cracked zero-point energy extraction, but not for propulsion, for something far more terrible. Each ship in the Dark Fleet carried a weapon that could tear open spacetime itself, creating localized singularities that would devour anything within a light-minute radius. 47 vessels, 47 doomsday devices hidden in the dark between worlds. The cost? Using even one would destabilize local space for decades. Using all of them simultaneously, as their contingency plan required, would render the entire Sol system uninhabitable for centuries. It was extinction as a weapon, mutually assured destruction on a cosmic scale. James's hands trembled as he initialized the final sequence. "Bridge, this is engineering. Reactor 1 is stabilizing. We're at 60% capacity and climbing." On the bridge, Desiree allowed herself the ghost of a smile. "Copy that. All ships begin wake-up protocols. We're bringing the fleet out of the dark." Across the Kuiper Belt, ancient systems stirred. Ships that had drifted silent and cold for 2 decades began to hum with terrible purpose. Their hulls were black, not painted, but forged from metamaterials that drank in radiation across every spectrum. They were invisible ghosts even to the Crythians' sophisticated sensors. The Crythian War Master aboard the flagship Eternal Dominion watched his chronometer with satisfaction. 23 hours remained in the ultimatum. Soon another species would kneel, and the Empire's borders would expand once more. These humans had been troublesome, refusing even to negotiate, but they would break. They all broke eventually. "War Master," his sensor officer called out, mandibles clicking with confusion. "We're detecting anomalous energy signatures. Multiple sources, extreme range, but the pattern is wrong. It's as if space itself is—" The displays erupted with warnings. 47 contacts appearing simultaneously across a spherical formation encompassing the entire Crythian fleet. Not approaching, they were already in position, as if they'd been there all along, waiting. "Impossible," the War Master breathed. "Nothing could hide from our sensors, nothing." Desiree's voice cut across every Crythian frequency, cold and clear. "War Master, you gave us an ultimatum. Now hear ours. You have 1 hour to withdraw every vessel beyond the heliopause. If a single ship remains after that deadline, we will activate the Dark Fleet's primary weapons. You will learn what humanity truly is. You're bluffing, the War Master snarled. Our intelligence indicates you lack the technology for... Your intelligence is 20 years out of date, James interrupted, patching through from engineering. Let me educate you. Each of our vessels contains a weaponized zero-point singularity generator. One ship can eliminate your entire fleet. We have 47. If we fire, your ships won't just be destroyed, they'll be erased, pulled into artificial black holes and crushed down to quantum foam. And yes, War Master, this will also destroy our own system. We've calculated the cost. We've accepted it. Silence stretched across the void. You would murder your own world to spite us? The War Master's disbelief was palpable. No, Desiree said quietly. We would murder our own world to remain free. There's a difference. You've conquered 17 galaxies because species value survival above all else. You've never met a species that values freedom more than existence itself. She leaned forward, her reflection ghost-like in the viewport. We are humanity, War Master. We are the species that split the atom and turned it into a weapon. We are the species that looked at extinction and chose defiance. We built these ships knowing we might have to use them, knowing what it would cost. And if you think we're bluffing, if you believe we won't press this button, then you understand nothing about us. James watched his displays, heart pounding. The Dark Fleet was fully operational now, 47 stars of violet destruction waiting for a command. They would only get one shot at this bluff. If the Crithians called it, if they attacked, humanity's choice would be simple: submit or commit cosmic suicide. 60 minutes crawled by like bleeding hours. Then, impossibly, the Crithian fleet began to move. Not forward, but back, withdrawing, retreating. War Master to human fleet, the transmission crackled. The Crithian Empire does not war with the insane. We withdraw, but know this, you have not won. You have merely delayed. We will return with weapons to match yours, and then... No, Desiree interrupted. You won't, because every species you've ever conquered now knows the truth. Knows that you can be stopped. Knows that defiance is possible. We've just lit a spark, War Master. Every species you've crushed will remember this day. And when they rise against you, when they fight back with nothing to lose, you'll understand what you've awakened. She cut the transmission and exhaled slowly. Around her, the bridge erupted in stunned celebration. They had won. Humanity had won. But as James powered down the Dark Fleet, returning those terrible weapons to their cold sleep, he caught Desiree's eye across the distance of ship systems and shared understanding. They hadn't won. They'd merely survived. The Dark Fleet would remain in the shadows, a secret guardian and a terrible promise. Humanity had shown the galaxy what it truly was, a species that would rather die free than live in chains. A species that weaponized extinction itself rather than bow. They had expected submission. Humanity had delivered the dark instead, and the galaxy would never be the same.